After years of reading metaphysical and spiritual texts, I thought I knew all about soul groups, reincarnation, and all that crap. I was 25. Now as I approach 40, my mother says, you know, before he died, he said there was only one person he was scared to leave on this earth, and that was you. He said you weren't as strong as blank, as stable as blank, blank, conventional, married like blank, blank. Out of his 11 grandchildren, you worried, but wasn't he prophetic, she asked. I had sensed his worry, but thought it rare vulnerability in him for himself. No, but wasn't this love? I'm still trying on the definitions. When I see him in my dreams, he sings to me, and I cry. I am on the other side of my life now, and very disoriented. Made of dark orchids, waxy petals, he is in my lotion bottle. He comes to my door at midday, vespers and night prayer, especially night prayer. He has held me down on every mattress, couch, floor, bathroom sink, and I cursed him and liked it. Still, I long for his palm on my skin. I have cursed my desire and liked it. His desire has become the glass in my windows and the candles at my sill. Their flames are his way of moving, of speaking. He has left a trail of himself in my body and the two other bodies that roam my rooms. They fight in the courtyard with sticks. The sticks have become their father. They hold them with his hands. His hands are falling from maple trees, spinning like seed. I forget my curses in the bones of his face, symmetrical as cicada markings, ochre and green on black. The bugs keep falling from our trees.
I'm from Elkhart.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. One of my best friends was from Elkhart. I don't know if you know Columbo's restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Her family owns Columbo's. So, yeah, I got a lot of really amazing food. I even got to go to Calabria one time and see their house in Italy. Anyway, so, okay, this one is, I had been thinking about South Bend a lot. You know, Pete Buttigieg, the mayor of South Bend, has been in the news a lot. Been thinking a lot. I mean, I always write about my ancestors and stuff and my grandparents, but I've been thinking more about it. Okay. So this is called, I was born of a river and a dance hall. Standing at the open refrigerator in its slice of light, I hear my grandma say, eating pickles before bed will give you nightmares. I twist open the metal lid of crispy dill pickles and she is still dead. I have failed her and all the ancestors, certainly. I was born with her panics, but at least I can say I was once her jewel. Whenever I visit the place that birthed me, I always drive through that side of town, the side of grandparents and deserted factories. My fortune lies here. I knew their houses, their scents, the lights in their kitchens, and the sound of their dresser drawers. My parents, second-generation kids, and the only ones who stayed in the city of cathedrals and loneliness. Okay, so this one's called Origin Story, written with the lights off. Real beginning, when my breasts were the smallest of cups, there was vodka. We, teenage girls in suburbia, taking shots from Dixie cups. And then the world blurred so happily. I jumped up and down in a kitchen, ecstatic. I don't know where I am. I don't know where I am. It was my mother's kitchen. I, without boundary, like night. The problem of night in my maternal line. How visions come and come true. I could step outside of my body and laugh at the humiliation of attending to my flesh and my ridiculous destiny, the glass box of anxiety around me gone. I started to talk to boys and to other people, and we bought liquor from the store on the west side until the man who sold to us got shot. I was grocery store florist in Marsh, supermarkets. Anybody know Marsh? Supermarkets. So yeah, in my undergrad, I majored in horticulture and creative writing, which is super, practical. So I worked as a florist, I worked landscape, I did all kinds of stuff, but for 13 years I worked as a florist. So I have one of these florist kind of poems that I'll read. This is my last poem. It's called Lady of the Grocery Flowers, Winter. Cardinal I've stuck in white mum. bramble red, erase the other colors of fall. I, queen of cuts, of my grayhood, am finding the royal angles to slice away thorn and stem, to innovate with gold dust, though what we love will never bloom again when kept indoors. Oh, best rose breeder, I am only fit for a snip off of your plastic bouquet sleeve skirts. I inhabit the drops of white poinsettia sap that stick and stain the rags of my soul. Give me all your succulent and your celebratory owl. Teach me to gild my basket, my every azalea. Tell me their fortune, tell me their price. Oh, thank you.
The Navajo Reservation in White Cone, Arizona received an AFA from the Institute of American Indian Arts Creative Writing Program. He is the author of the poetry collections Shapeshift and Flood Song, and most recently Dissolve, which we have copies of all of those over there at the Poetry Rack. Steeped in Native American culture, mythology, and history, Bixby's poems reveal the tensions in the intersection of Native American and contemporary urban culture. His poems are imagistic, surreal, and rich with details of the landscape of the Southwest. Flood Song is a book-length lyric sequence that explores the traditions of Native American writing through the postmodern fragment and stream of consciousness. Bixby has received a Whiting Writers Award, a grant from the Witter Binner Foundation for Poetry, a Truman Capote Creative Writing Fellowship, and a Lannan Literary Fellowship. He teaches at the Institute of American Indian Arts. Please welcome Sherman to the stage.
Navajo Reservation in northern Arizona, and I now teach at Northern Arizona University in Flagstaff. So I've got a position finally somewhere. And thank you to Adrian for hosting me this week, these few days, and Kara also. And thank you for providing this space, and to the other readers also. I'll read from Flood Song, but I really want to share Dissolve. And this is just the first poem in Flood Song. And I had it recently, it was made into a broadside, and I will be eventually sharing that with the world. This is a Navajo word, and it's a necessary word. Twa. 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 That's the word for water. Stepping through the drum's vibration, I hear gasoline trickle alongside the fence and panorama of the reed we climbed in from, and slide my hands into shoes of ocean water. I step onto the gravel path of swans paved across Lake Sound. Wrap this blank page around the exclamation point slammed between us. The storm lying outside its antelope ears, and hears its heart pounding through powdery earth underneath dancers flecking dust from their ankles to thunder and to rain. I am unable to pry my fingers from the axe, unable to utter a word without grandfather's accent rippling around a stone flung into his thinning mattress. Years before, he would have named this season by flattening a field where grasshoppers jumped into black smoke. A crow snaps its beak over and over again. The past is a blurry splotch of red cross-hatched with neon light. On the drive south, windows pushed down, you scoop pellets of canned air and ocean across sand dunes. Between us. Together we climb the song's hair, step onto the plank and hear birth cries erupt into a bridge of starlight, connecting the ink-soaked shores of our nameless bodies to anchors of swans coughing dune sand onto a dry riverbed. Lifting the cloth to smear the reed invisible, I noticed spiders emerging where our hair slipped out and leaped by firelight into the raft scribbled on pond water. Its translucent oars chiming metallic as it sinks below sea level. The yanking inserted sideways underneath the linoleum floor begins to sound less like weeping and more like the cawing of crows gathering, thirsty, fat-bellied, outside the keyhole, for whom we become bodies for the first time, for whom our language. And a lot of it sort of coincided, some of these pieces coincided with me driving through the country and noticing all of these massacre sites. Like, I mean, just kind of being Native American, being Native, and also understanding that there's been genocide here. Always that sort of memory of massacres and genocide and things of that nature, of displacement. But also, some of it also coincides with the fact that a lot of our reservations are on spaces where there's resource extraction. So when Standing Rock was happening, some of these pieces came in also. On limbs of slanted light, painted with my mind, I step upon black braids, oil-drenched, worming from last month's orphaned mouth. Winged with burning, I ferry them from my filmed eyes, wheezing. Scalp blood in my footprints, my buckskin pouch filling with photographed sand. No language but its rind crackling in the past tense. This poem pivots a walking cane, denseness vacuum-packed air strung from pawn shop windows. It climbs cloud hair only to fall back upon red soil, salt water mask sweating onto our smeared faces. Unbelted from snow-dusted fog, night stretching out longer than anticipated, abalones the waking that creaks when soaked in the blood of dragonflies. Hunched over the sleeping, this night wears a garden's dust cloud, cleaves body heat from a barometer with pine claws, long sort of movements. There's like several of them in this book, and all these characters are coming through it. This is about a mother and a son. Of blind spots on her son without knowing that bees ached in her feet. The beads of her breath sank into his chest. He kept them 5 long years. A tassel of singed hair cinched around his wrists, latchkeys soothing songbirds in his pockets of fire. He stains the night's rim with sprigs of dry air, exiting fevering bodies cupped briefly by their itching. She dabs clear his brow, remembers syringes filled with lake mist, wonders whether it was him who strung teeth marks across her wrist the night before. Together, they pace the ravine's gauge nearing empty, step upon a pale horse lying on the earth's heat, legs upright in the cattle guard, butcher paper stretched taut over wiry ribs. So, I don't know as much context, but I live in Albuquerque. I lived in Albuquerque, now I live in Flagstaff, but it's about, 4 and a half hour drive. It's not terribly far. But all of these are border towns, so they surround the reservation, and, it's just where cultures meet and where oftentimes Native people are marginalized and somewhat policed all the time. It's really strange being Native of this country, of being indigenous to this land, but also being pushed out, away, erased, forgotten. It's kind kind of a strange experience, and also like when I was writing this book, I was also thinking about the fact of the reservation, the fact that I grew up on a reservation is strange. You know, when you really think about it, why do you have an entire nation fenced off from the rest of the world? You know, and that's replicated. And historically, we were actually removed from our homeland by the Calvary and sent to Fort Sumner in eastern New Mexico. And we were supposed to be removed to Arkansas or Oklahoma. That was really the trajectory of that particular moment. And the first sort of photograph of my people are as prisoners of war. And there's a soldier with a bayonet, and then behind them. But this is, I don't know. I'm trying to deal with all of the weight of that experience and how it just kind of like just keeps surfacing after generation after generation after generation. And about a year and a half ago, I lost a brother in the town that I now teach, and a cousin brother. But in Navajo, we don't have distinctions between like brothers. I mean, even if it's my aunt's son, I still consider them my brother. And I remember holding him when he was a kid, and a week before he died, he said he got beat up by a group of white guys, and that's just kind of the norm. So this is about a rescue. On embers strike the asphalt's blank page, where the story pens itself nightly, where ghosts weave their oily hair into his belt of ice, dress him in pleated shadows, and lay him fetal on the icy concrete, the afterbirth of sirens listening over him. We drain our headlights on his scraped forehead and watch the December moon two-step across his waxen eyes. His mouth shallow pond, a reflecting pool, where his sobs leak into my collar. One more, just one more, he whispers, as he thaws back into the shape of Nihitzile, our brother, bruised knees thorning against his chest. We steal away, our wheels moan through sleet and ash. Death places second, third, and fourth behind us. Mother hovering above cell phone light awaits. He's okay, never went out, watched a movie instead. But tonight, my speech has knives that quiver at the ellipses of neon Budweiser signs blinking through the fogged windshield. And I text, I've only rescued a sliver of him. He's only 25 and he smells like blood and piss. His turquoise bracelet snatched for pawn by the same ghost who traded his jacket for a robe of snow and ice, before inviting him back into the caravan for one more, just one more.